Are you tired of letting other people's criticism bring you down? Do you sometimes think why people can't see people's success? In this video, we will learn how to take people's criticisms as our motivation and know that they are good for us. Lesson 1. Acknowledge the criticism. Acknowledging criticism is not just about hearing the words spoken to us. It's about truly understanding the message behind those words. It's about being present, being mindful, and being open to feedback, even when it's difficult to hear. This lesson is so important that it warrants a deeper exploration. Mindfulness is a key practice. It involves being fully present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. When we apply mindfulness to criticism, it means listening to the criticism without immediately reacting or defending ourselves. It means giving the criticism the space it needs to exist, so that we can truly understand it. When we acknowledge criticism, we are not necessarily agreeing with it. Instead, we are accepting that it exists, that it has been expressed, and that it may hold valuable insights for us. This is a crucial distinction. Acknowledgement is not submission. It's an act of openness and courage. One of the reasons why acknowledging criticism can be challenging is because of our natural defensiveness. When we feel attacked, our instinct is to protect ourselves. However, Buddhism teaches us that this defensiveness often leads to suffering. It creates a barrier between us and the world, preventing us from seeing things as they truly are. To acknowledge criticism, we must first overcome this defensiveness. We must cultivate a sense of humility and a willingness to learn. This doesn't mean that we should blindly accept all criticism as truth. It means that we should approach criticism with an open mind, ready to consider its validity and learn from it. Another important aspect of acknowledging criticism is understanding the intention behind it. Criticism can come from a place of love and concern, or it can come from a place of anger and jealousy. By understanding the intention behind the criticism, we can better understand the message it carries. If the criticism comes from a place of love, it's likely that it holds valuable insights for us. It may highlight areas where we can improve, or it may offer a different perspective that we hadn't considered. On the other hand, if the criticism comes from a place of negativity, it may not be as useful. However, even in these cases, the criticism can still serve as a reminder to cultivate compassion and understanding for others. Acknowledging criticism is not just about listening. It's also about responding. After we've taken the time to truly understand the criticism, we should respond in a way that reflects our understanding. This response doesn't have to be immediate. In fact, it's often beneficial to take some time to reflect on the criticism before responding. Our response should be calm, respectful, and considerate. It should acknowledge the criticism and express gratitude for the feedback. Even if we disagree with the criticism, we can still express appreciation for the opportunity to learn and grow. Acknowledging criticism is a vital part of personal and spiritual growth. It requires mindfulness, humility, and courage. It involves listening to the criticism, understanding its intention, and responding thoughtfully. By acknowledging criticism, we open ourselves up to valuable feedback and opportunities for growth. We cultivate a mind of equanimity, ready to accept both praise and criticism with grace and wisdom. Lesson 2. Don't take it personally. When we are criticized, we often identify with the criticism, seeing it as a reflection of ourself. However, according to the principle of anatta, there is no permanent self to be reflected. There are only ever-changing processes and phenomena. Therefore, criticism is not a reflection of who we are, but rather a comment on specific actions or behaviors. Understanding the impermanence of self can serve as a shield against criticism. When we realize that our self is not a static entity, but a dynamic process, we can see criticism in a different light. It's not a permanent stamp on our identity, but a temporary comment on a specific aspect of ourself at a particular point in time. For instance, if someone criticizes you for being disorganized, it doesn't mean that you, as a person, are inherently and permanently disorganized. It simply means that at this point in time, In this specific context, your actions or behaviors have been perceived as disorganized. This understanding can help you detach from the criticism, seeing it as a comment on a temporary state, rather than a permanent trait. When we understand that our self is not a separate entity, but a part of a larger whole, we can see criticism in a broader context. It's not a personal attack, but a part of the larger process of interaction and communication. For example, if someone criticizes your work, it's not a personal attack on you, but a part of the larger process of feedback and improvement. It's a reflection of their perspective and expectations, influenced by their own experiences and biases. This understanding can help you depersonalize the criticism, seeing it as a part of the larger process, rather than a personal attack. When we realize that our self is empty of inherent existence, we can see that criticism has no inherent power over us. It's not a reflection of our inherent worth, but a reflection of the interdependent nature of existence. This understanding can help us respond to criticism with equanimity, seeing it as a reflection of the interdependent nature of reality, rather than a reflection of our inherent worth. Lesson 3. Don't dwell on negativity. We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. When the mind is pure, joy follows like a shadow that never leaves. This quote beautifully encapsulates the importance of not dwelling on negativity. Our thoughts shape our reality. If we constantly dwell on negative thoughts, such as criticism, we create a reality that is filled with negativity. On the other hand, if we focus on positive thoughts and experiences, we create a reality that is filled with positivity. Mindfulness is about being fully present in the moment, without judgment. When we are mindful, we can observe our thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. So when you face criticism, practice mindfulness. Acknowledge your feelings, but don't let them control you. Observe them, learn from them, and then let them go. Equanimity is a balanced state of mind that is neither overly elated by praise nor overly dejected by criticism. It's about maintaining a sense of calm and stability, regardless of the external circumstances. To cultivate equanimity, try to see criticism as a neutral event, rather than a personal attack. Remember, it's just someone's opinion, not a reflection of your worth as a person. Let go of the hurt, the anger, the resentment. Let go of the need to be perfect, to be liked, to be approved. Let go of the past and focus on the present. This doesn't mean forgetting the past or ignoring the lessons it teaches us. It means not letting the past define us or limit us. It means moving forward with wisdom and compassion. Lesson 4. Remember that nature treats all equally and punishes criticism. When we face criticism, it's essential to remember this principle of equality. We are not singled out or targeted. Criticism is simply a part of life that everyone experiences. This understanding can help us approach criticism with a sense of equanimity, rather than feeling personally attacked or victimized. The natural law of karma, or cause and effect, is another crucial aspect of this lesson. In Buddhism, every action has a consequence, and criticism is no exception. When we criticize others, we create negative karma, which can lead to our own suffering. Conversely, when we respond to criticism with understanding and compassion, we create positive karma, which can lead to our own happiness. Nature, in its fairness, does not punish criticism in the conventional sense. Instead, it allows the law of karma to take its course. If we criticize harshly, we may face harsh criticism in return. If we respond to criticism with kindness and understanding, we may find that others treat us with the same kindness and understanding. Mindfulness plays a significant role in understanding and applying this lesson. When we are mindful, we are fully present and aware of our thoughts, emotions, and actions. We can observe our reactions to criticism without being overwhelmed by them. This mindfulness allows us to respond to criticism in a way that aligns with the principles of equality and karma. For example, if we find ourselves criticizing others, mindfulness can help us recognize this behavior and understand its potential consequences. We can then choose to change our behavior, treating others with the same kindness and respect that we would like to receive. Similarly, if we are on the receiving end of criticism, mindfulness can help us respond in a constructive way. Instead of reacting with anger or defensiveness, we can choose to listen to the criticism, learn from it, and use it as an opportunity for growth. Compassion is another key element of this lesson. In Buddhism, compassion is not just about empathizing with others. It's about understanding our shared humanity and treating all beings with kindness and respect. When we face criticism, compassion can help us remember that the critic is also a human being with their own fears, insecurities, and struggles. They may be acting out of ignorance or pain, and their criticism may have more to do with them than with us. By cultivating compassion, we can respond to criticism with understanding and forgiveness rather than anger or resentment. Forgiveness is a powerful practice that can help us deal with criticism constructively. When we forgive, we let go of any hurt or anger associated with the criticism. We choose not to hold on to resentment, which only harms us, but to move forward with a peaceful and open heart. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful behavior or allowing others to treat us poorly. It means recognizing that everyone makes mistakes, including ourselves, and choosing to respond with compassion and understanding. By understanding and applying these principles, we can transform criticism from a source of distress into a tool for spiritual growth and self-improvement. We can learn to approach criticism with equanimity, respond to it with kindness and understanding, and use it as an opportunity to cultivate positive karma and grow as individuals. Lesson 5. Belief and attitude. Belief in Buddhism is not merely about adhering to a set of doctrines or dogmas. It's about cultivating a deep-seated faith in our inherent potential for growth and enlightenment. This is encapsulated in the concept of Buddha nature, which suggests that every being has the potential to attain Buddhahood, a state of supreme wisdom and compassion. When we are criticized, it's easy to lose sight of our Buddha nature. We may start to doubt ourselves, our abilities, and our worth. However, Buddhism encourages us to maintain our faith, to believe in our capacity to learn, improve, and transcend our current circumstances. This belief is not about ignoring or denying the criticism. Instead, it's about viewing it from a perspective of growth. It's about believing that every criticism, no matter how harsh or unfair, contains a grain of truth that can help us improve. It's about believing that we are not defined by our mistakes or shortcomings, but by our potential to overcome them. Attitude in Buddhism is closely linked to the concept of right intention, one of the 8 elements of the Noble Eightfold Path, the Buddhist path to enlightenment. Right intention involves cultivating thoughts and attitudes that are conducive to spiritual growth, such as thoughts of renunciation, compassion, and harmlessness. When we face criticism, our attitude can greatly influence how we engage with it. If we approach it with an attitude of defensiveness or hostility, we are likely to react in ways that escalate the situation and hinder our growth. On the other hand, if we approach it with an attitude of openness and humility, we are more likely to respond in ways that promote understanding, reconciliation, and self-improvement. Cultivating a positive attitude towards criticism involves several steps. First, we need to recognize the value of criticism. In Buddhism, every experience, including criticism, is seen as an opportunity for growth and learning. So, let's view criticism not as a personal attack, but as a chance to gain insights about ourselves and our actions. Second, we need to let go of our ego. In Buddhism, the ego, or the sense of self, is seen as a major hindrance to spiritual growth. It's our ego that makes us take criticism personally, that makes us feel threatened and defensive. So let's strive to detach our ego from the criticism, to separate the criticism of our actions from the criticism of ourself. Third, we need to practice gratitude. In Buddhism, gratitude is seen as a powerful tool for cultivating positivity and contentment. So let's express gratitude towards the critic for their time and effort, and for the insights they have provided. Even if the criticism was unfair or hurtful, we can still find something to be grateful for, such as the opportunity to practice patience and forgiveness. Belief and attitude are not isolated concepts in Buddhism. They are interconnected and influence each other. Our beliefs shape our attitudes, and our attitudes, in turn, reinforce or challenge our beliefs. When we face criticism, our belief in our potential for growth can shape our attitude towards the criticism, making us more open and receptive. Similarly, our attitude towards the criticism can reinforce our belief as we engage with the criticism in a way that promotes growth and learning. The Buddhist concepts of belief and attitude can be powerful tools for engaging with criticism constructively. They can help us view criticism from a perspective of growth, approach it with an attitude of openness and humility, and cultivate a deep-seated faith in our potential for improvement and enlightenment. Lesson 6. Increase self-concept and values. Self-concept, in simple terms, is how we perceive ourselves. It's the collection of beliefs we hold about our abilities, characteristics, and values. It's important to understand that our self-concept is not fixed. It's malleable and can be shaped by our experiences, including criticism. When we face criticism, it can be a catalyst for growth. It can highlight areas where we can improve, skills we can develop, and behaviors we can change. Instead of viewing criticism as a personal attack, we can see it as a tool for self-improvement. It's an opportunity to reassess our self-concept, to identify our strengths and weaknesses, and to work towards becoming the best version of ourselves. Criticism can also provide an opportunity to reflect on our values. It can challenge us to reconsider what we stand for, what we believe in, and what we prioritize. This reflection can help us strengthen our values, making them more resilient and deeply rooted. Mindfulness, a key principle in Buddhism, plays a crucial role in increasing self-concept and strengthening values. It involves being fully present and aware of our thoughts, emotions, and experiences without judgment. When we are mindful, we can observe how criticism affects us, how it influences our self-concept, and how it challenges our values. This awareness can help us respond to criticism constructively, using it as a catalyst for growth and self-improvement. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to recover from setbacks, and continue moving forward. In the face of criticism, resilience can help us maintain a positive self-concept and uphold our values. Buddhism teaches us to cultivate resilience through practices like meditation, mindfulness, and compassion. These practices can help us develop a strong inner core, enabling us to weather the storms of criticism without being swept away. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, recognizing that we are not perfect and that making mistakes is part of being human. When we face criticism, self-compassion can help us maintain a positive self-concept, even as we acknowledge our areas for improvement. Positive affirmations are powerful tools for increasing self-concept. They involve repeating positive statements to ourselves, reinforcing our beliefs in our abilities and worth. In Buddhism, positive affirmations can be seen as a form of right speech, using words to cultivate positive thoughts and emotions. When we face criticism, positive affirmations can help us counter negative self-talk, maintaining a positive self-concept. Role models can provide inspiration and guidance in increasing self-concept and strengthening values. They can demonstrate how to respond to criticism constructively, how to maintain a positive self-concept, and how to uphold values in the face of adversity. Increasing self-concept and strengthening values in the face of criticism involves a journey of self-discovery and self-improvement. It requires us to view criticism as an opportunity for growth, to reflect on our values, to cultivate resilience and self-compassion, to practice positive affirmations, and to learn from role models. Lesson 7. Forgive yourself and others. Forgiveness is a cornerstone of Buddhist teachings, and it plays a crucial role in managing criticism. When we are criticized, feelings of hurt, anger, and resentment can arise. These feelings are natural, but dwelling on them can lead to suffering. Buddhism encourages us to practice forgiveness, both towards ourselves and others, to alleviate this suffering. Self-forgiveness is the first step in the process of forgiveness. When we make mistakes and are criticized for them, we often judge ourselves harshly. We may replay the situation in our minds, berating ourselves for our perceived failures. This self-criticism can be more damaging than the original criticism we received. Buddhism teaches us to treat ourselves with kindness and compassion. We are all imperfect beings, and making mistakes is part of the human experience. Instead of punishing ourselves for our mistakes, we should view them as opportunities for learning and growth. In the words of the Buddha, you can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is more deserving of your love and affection than you are yourself, and that person is not to be found anywhere. You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Forgiving others who criticize us can be challenging, especially when the criticism is harsh or unwarranted. Holding on to resentment only harms us, not the person who criticized us. Buddhism teaches us to cultivate metta, or loving kindness towards all beings, including those who criticize us. This doesn't mean we have to agree with their criticism or condone hurtful behavior. Instead, it means we choose not to let their actions control our emotions or well-being. Forgiveness is not about excusing the criticism or forgetting what happened. It's about releasing the negative emotions associated with the criticism. It's about choosing peace over resentment, understanding over anger. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. It's okay to feel hurt, angry, or upset when you're criticized. Acknowledge these feelings without judging them. Remember, you're allowed to feel whatever you're feeling. Make a conscious decision to forgive. This doesn't mean you have to reconcile with the person or accept their behavior. It simply means you're choosing to let go of the resentment. Once you've forgiven, let go of the past and move forward. Don't dwell on the criticism or bring it up repeatedly. Instead, focus on the present and future. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in managing criticism. It allows us to release negative emotions, learn from our experiences, and move forward with peace and positivity. These 7 lessons provide us to being mentally strong and also help us to know person which are not for us. Cause life is a journey. In this journey, people are enemy for people. That's mean most of the time some people feel jealous for other people. If we want to happy and successes in life, it's necessary to avoid this toxic and criticism people from life. I wish these lessons help us to enjoy our life honestly, and we can also increase our improvement for better life.